child, stop right now. I am not speaking to a crowd. I am not speaking to whoever happens to be near. I am speaking to you, and I am asking for 1 minute of your full attention, not half of your mind while the rest wanders elsewhere. All of you here now. I do not interrupt like this without reason. You were moving quickly through your day. Your thoughts were already leaning toward the next thing and the next thing after that. Then something in you paused. You felt a pull you could not explain. A sense that this moment carried weight the others did not. That was not chance. That was me. I arranged this moment. I cleared the noise around it so my voice could reach you. I have watched you pass by 100 quiet invitations, telling yourself you would come back later. Later has become your most familiar word. So this time I did not whisper from a distance. I stepped directly into your path. Do not let fear rise in you. I know that when something feels this serious, your first instinct is to brace yourself. You have been warned before by voices that did not love you. You have been pressured by people who used urgency as a weapon. I am not doing that. You are not in trouble. You are being reached for. Urgency does not mean danger, my child. Urgency means importance. It means something is worth stopping for. A shepherd does not shout because he hates the sheep. He shouts because he sees the edge of the cliff and the sheep does not. I am raising my voice now because I see what you cannot see, and I love you too much to stay silent. Hear me clearly. This is not about rules, rituals, or performance. It is not about proving your faith or fixing yourself before you come near me. Strip all of that away. This is about your life, the direction it is drifting, and the weight your heart has been carrying alone. I am asking you to stop long enough to notice. I know you are tired not only in your body, but somewhere deeper in the place where hope is supposed to live. You have learned to function while disconnected from yourself. You stay busy because stillness feels heavy. Stillness brings up the questions you have been avoiding. But I am in the stillness. I am not there to overwhelm you. I am there to steady you. You were not created only to get through your days. You were created to be alive inside them. There is a difference between surviving a life and living one. And you have felt that difference growing wider. You wake, you work, you carry what must be carried. And somewhere along the way, you stop checking in with your own soul. I have been noticing for a long time. This is urgent, but not because something terrible is about to fall on you. It is urgent because something good is trying to begin, and beginnings require attention. A seed ignored does not grow. A door unnoticed is never walked through. Right now, something is trying to take root in you, and I refuse to let it be trampled by hurry. So, give me this minute. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath slow down. Let your mind stop racing ahead to what comes next. You do not have to solve anything in this moment. You do not have to decide everything today. You only have to listen, and listening is enough to begin. I have heard the prayers you never spoke out loud. I have seen the exhaustion you dress up as strength every morning. I know about the confusion you manage quietly so no one worries about you. None of it has been hidden from me. You have felt unseen by people, but you have never once been unseen by me. Let me say this plainly. I am not angry with you. I am not standing over you with a list of your failures. I am not waiting for you to become impressive before I draw near. I am paying attention to your heart. The real one, the one beneath the answers you give when people ask how you are. That heart has been asking for help in a language only I can hear, and I am answering not with noise, not with spectacle, with presence, with truth spoken directly to you at the exact moment you were able to receive it. You have asked me more than once whether I am real, whether I still care, whether you have drifted too far. Consider this my reply. I am here, I care. And you are not too far. You have never been too far. What you do next matters. Not because everything collapses if you turn away, but because this is a beginning, and beginnings are easy to miss. If you drift back in a hurry, life will go on. Nothing dramatic will happen. That is exactly what makes drifting so dangerous. The costliest losses are the quiet ones, the ones you only recognize years later. I do not want that for you. I want you awake. I want you present. I want you to feel your own life again instead of managing it from a distance. That is why I stopped you. That is why I am speaking with this much weight. Love that never interrupts is not love. Love steps in. Love says, not this way. Come here. Listen, so stay with me now. Do not reach for the next distraction. Do not tell yourself you will return to this when things calm down, because you and I both know that calm never seems to come. The moment is now. The word is now. And what I am about to speak over the rest of this time together has been prepared for you specifically with a care you have not yet imagined. 1 minute of true listening can turn a day. 1 day can turn a life. You have already given me the minute. Now let me show you what I stopped you for. Now let me tell you why I stepped in. I do not break into a life carelessly. When I stop you this directly, it is because I see something you cannot yet see. I saw the direction your heart was drifting. I saw the weight you were about to pick up without noticing. I saw the quiet ways you were beginning to disconnect from your own soul. You were about to be pulled away again. Not by anything dramatic, not by anything that looks dangerous from the outside, by the slow kind of distraction that feels harmless. Another task, another hour of noise, another stretch of wandering from one thing to the next without ever landing anywhere. Those are the distractions that steal the most because they never announce what they are taking. Distraction did not enter your life as an enemy. It came dressed as relief. You were carrying too much, so you reached for anything that let your mind rest. Noise to cover the silence. Movement to avoid the stillness. Business to keep the harder questions at arm's length. I understand why you were not being careless. You were tired. But I need you to see what it has been costing you. When your attention is always pulled outward, your inner life grows quiet. Not because it disappears, but because it is ignored. Slowly, you stop noticing what you feel. You stop noticing what you need. You stop noticing when something inside you is asking for care. And when awareness fades, life begins to feel shallow, even when it is full. You have felt this already. Prayer is harder to hold on to than it used to be. Silence feels restless instead of peaceful. Your thoughts scatter the moment you try to gather them. You can be surrounded by people and activity and still feel strangely far from yourself. This is not spiritual failure, my child. It is what happens when a heart is never still long enough to listen. Numbness is the danger I stepped in to interrupt. Not sin in the way you usually think of it. Numbness, the slow falling asleep to your own life. If I had stayed silent, you would not have collapsed. Nothing would have shattered. You would simply have kept going, promising yourself you would slow down someday, while someday kept moving further away. That is how a life goes missing. Not in one terrible decision, but in 10,000 small postponements. You are about to postpone yourself again. Postpone the rest you need. Postpone the honesty you owe your own heart. Postpone the moment of finally standing still before me. I have watched that pattern long enough, so I interrupted it. Understand what my interruption is. It is not punishment. It is protection. It is mercy arriving before damage settles in and becomes habit. A father who sees his child walking toward a hidden pit does not wait politely for a better moment to speak. He calls out at once with force because he loves. I called out to you today for the same reason. I have always warned the ones I love. I warned Noah not to frighten him but to save him and his household from the flood. I warned Lot, and my warning pulled him out of a city already falling. I warned Israel through voice after voice, not because I enjoyed correction, but because I longed for closeness with them. Every warning I have ever spoken was an invitation to life. This one is no different. Some voices in your past used fear to control you. They made urgency feel like a trap closing around you. So when you sense weight in my words, part of you braces for condemnation. Release that. Fear pushes, but love invites. Fear creates panic, but love creates clarity. What I am speaking carries weight. Yes, it does not carry harm. If I did not care, I would let you drift. Silence would be easier. But I am not a distant God who watches from far off while his children slowly go numb. I am present. I am attentive. I speak when speaking is needed, and I refuse to watch you live at a distance from your own heart without saying a word. Look at how you have been living. Not with shame, but with honest eyes, rising, rushing, carrying, managing, answering everyone's needs, while quietly setting aside your own soul, like a task for later. You have learned to survive impressively, but survival mode was never meant to be permanent. It keeps you functioning while slowly sealing off the deep places where joy and purpose live. I did not interrupt you because you were doing something wrong. I interrupted you because you were about to miss something right, something necessary, something that could not wait for a more convenient season. There is a turning point resting inside this very moment, and turning points are gentle things. They do not force themselves. They wait to be noticed, and they pass quietly when they are not. So I made sure you noticed. I slowed you down. I let certain plans stall and certain moments stretch so that you would be exactly here, exactly now, with just enough openness to hear me. You may call that coincidence if you wish. I call it care. I have been arranging this conversation for longer than you know. Here is what I ask of you in return. Stay awake through the rest of this word. Do not let your mind slip back into its old habit of drifting when truth comes close. Every time you feel the pull to escape into noise, recognize it for what it is and choose to remain with me instead. That single choice repeated will change more in you than you can currently imagine. You were not stopped by accident today. You were interrupted by love. Let that settle into you before we go further, because everything I am about to say next rests on it. I see you. I know exactly where you are, and I have come to you there, not to scold you, but to bring you back to life, my child. This is not the first time I have spoken to you. You have heard me before. Not always with this clarity, not with this weight, but you have heard me. My voice has brushed against your heart many times. Gently, patiently, never forcing its way in. I spoke in whispers because whispers invite closeness. I wanted you to lean toward me, not pull away. Think back. There was a sudden pause before a decision that made no sense to you at the time. An uneasy feeling when everything looked fine on the surface. A quiet thought that kept returning no matter how often you dismissed it. You called it restlessness. You called it overthinking. It was neither. It was discernment waking up inside you. It was me. There were moments when you knew you should stop and you kept going. Moments when you felt moved to speak and you stayed silent. Moments when you sensed a change was needed and you told yourself the timing was wrong. You postponed what you felt because postponing seemed safer than responding. You promised yourself you would listen later when life slowed down, when you felt stronger. Hear this clearly. I do not condemn you for any of it. I never did. I know how loud responsibilities become. I know how easily a whisper is lost when everything else is shouting. You were not rebellious. You were cautious and worn out, doing what you thought you had to do to keep everything standing. I saw the reason behind every delay, and I stayed. There were also times when you heard me and moved only halfway. You acknowledged the feeling, but did not act on it. You said, I will think about it. Partial listening is still listening, my child, but it leaves work unfinished and unfinished things return. That is why some of what I say today will feel familiar. It has been waiting for you. I am not replaying these moments to shame you. I am showing you something important. My voice has been consistent even when your response was delayed. I did not stop speaking because you did not answer. I did not withdraw because you hesitated. Every ignored nudge was followed by another, softer or stronger, shaped to reach you where you were. That is what faithfulness looks like. Now understand why my voice has grown louder. It is not anger. You have not failed some hidden test. I am speaking with more force because whispers were no longer reaching you through the noise. Life grew louder around you. Distraction grew stronger. The familiar numbness thickened. So my voice became clearer, firmer, more direct. Love adapts when conditions change. Love raises its voice when a whisper would be lost. A repeated call is not rejection, it is mercy. When something returns to your awareness again and again, it is not an accident. When a question keeps resurfacing, when a discomfort will not resolve, when the same truth finds you through different doors, it is because it still matters. I repeat myself because the door is still open. I repeat myself because there is still time. Each time you postponed listening, I stayed near. I adjusted the pace. I softened what your delay could have cost you. I guarded you from harm you never saw coming. But there comes a point when silence would do more damage than interruption. When love must speak plainly, even if it lands with discomfort. You are standing at that point now. That is why today does not feel like the other days. And here is something you must not miss. The fact that you have heard me before means you are able to hear me now. You are not distant. You are not cut off. You recognized my voice in this word even faintly. And that recognition is proof that something living already exists between us. I do not speak this way to strangers. I speak this way to my own. You may feel regret rising as you remember the times you turned away. Let that regret become awareness instead of shame. Awareness sharpens the heart. Shame dulls it. I am not asking you to relive your past. I am asking you to learn what it has to teach. Those moments showed you where fear speaks loudest in you. They showed you where trust still needs to grow. Now I am asking for something different. Listen fully this time, not partially. Respond. Do not postpone. Stay present instead of drifting toward the exits. Not because I will abandon you if you fail, but because repeated delay slowly teaches a heart not to listen at all. And I want your heart alive, sensitive, and quick to respond. That kind of heart hears me everywhere. I am still calling you because I still want you close. I am still speaking because your story is still being written. This louder voice you hear today is not frustration. It is clarity. It is love refusing to be ignored one more season. You have heard me before, and you are hearing me now. What you do with this moment will shape how clearly you hear me in every moment that follows. So let this call sink deeper than the others did. Do not file it away with the things you mean to get to. I am here. I am speaking, and I am waiting not with judgment, but with hope. Now listen carefully, because I want you to understand what is actually at stake. It is not my love for you. My love is settled. It does not rise and fall with your performance, and it will not be withdrawn if you stumble. What is at stake is something quieter and more easily lost. Your sensitivity, your clarity, the ease with which your future unfolds. Delay carries consequences. And I tell you this in truth, not in threat. When something is meant to be faced and it is postponed again and again, the heart adjusts to carrying unresolved weight. What was once discomfort becomes normal. What once stirred you becomes background noise. Little by little, you stop noticing what your spirit has been trying to tell you. That is the danger of delay. Not sudden collapse, gradual dulling. Understand the difference. Delay does not make me leave. It does not lessen my love, but it does affect how clearly you hear me, how freely you move, and how much peace you actually experience. When you keep postponing what you already sense, clarity blurs. You begin to second-guess what you once knew. You lean on distraction instead of direction. This is not punishment, it is consequence. The way ignoring hunger weakens the body. Even though food never stopped existing, there are doors open to you right now that are connected to timing. Not every door closes loudly. Some close in silence simply by no longer being reachable the way they once were. Seasons of growth, healing, and new direction do not announce when they are ending. They stay open for a while, waiting to be noticed. When noticing is postponed too long, the season turns. This does not mean everything is lost when a door closes. I am the God of new doors, but it does mean some things become harder than they needed to be. Lessons that could have been learned once must be learned again. Peace arrives later than it could have. Life feels heavier than it was ever meant to feel. I do not want that road for you. That is why I am speaking today instead of next year. Windows close too, my child. Windows of courage when your heart is brave enough to act. Windows of softness when your heart is open enough to receive. When you are aware and responsive, growth moves through you easily. When you keep saying later, something inside you learns to stay guarded. Guarded hearts survive, but you were not made merely to survive. The enemy of your soul knows all of this. His most effective lie is not a dramatic one. It is a small, reasonable whisper. There is always tomorrow. You can deal with this when things settle down. Nothing urgent is happening. He does not need you to reject me. He only needs you to postpone me. Because a postponed decision is a decision he keeps winning by default day after quiet day. That is why he would love for this word to wash over you and fade. He fears what happens when you finally act, because the moment you respond to me fully, patterns that have held you for years begin to lose their grip. So do not be surprised that a dozen small urgencies are already tugging at your attention, telling you this can wait. It cannot. Not because I am impatient, but because you have waited long enough. Hear the difference between panic and urgency. Panic says everything will fall apart if you do not act this instant. Urgency says this matters enough to face now, while it can still be shaped gently. Panic scatters you. Urgency gathers you. I never speak panic over my children. But I will speak urgency, because urgency is what love sounds like when the moment is real. You may look around and see no dramatic choice in front of you, and wonder what all this wait is for. That is because the most important shifts rarely look dramatic. They happen inside first. A willingness to listen, a decision to stop running from stillness, a choice to respond today instead of promising tomorrow. Those quiet inner turnings decide which outer paths remain open to you. If you set this word aside, nothing will explode. Life will simply continue. That is precisely what makes ignoring it so easy and so costly. You will move forward carrying a little more weight, a little more numbness, a little less clarity. And those small subtractions add up. One day you would find yourself asking why peace feels so far away, why direction is so hard to find, and the answer would not be one great mistake. It would be many small delays. But that is not the story I am writing for you. I am telling you all of this while your heart can still feel it. And the fact that you can feel it is worth more than you know. Numbness has not finished its work in you. There is still tenderness in you, still hunger, still a pull toward me. That pull is the proof that this moment has arrived on time. What is at stake is not my approval. You already have my love. What is at stake is whether you keep moving through your days unconsciously or begin to move with awareness and intention. Awareness opens a way forward. Unawareness circles the same ground for years. I am offering you the open way, so do not let fear rush you, and do not let comfort sing you back to sleep. Let this urgency sharpen you gently, the way morning light sharpens the edges of a room. Something in your life is ready to shift. It has been ready for a while. It was waiting for your attention, and your attention is finally here. Stay with me now. The next thing I want to show you is harder to look at, but it is where your freedom begins. I am going to hold up a mirror, and I am going to hold your hand while you look into it. Come closer now. Let the noise fall away until there is nothing left but my voice and the beat of your own heart. I am going to show you something sacred, something few ever slow down long enough to face. The true state of your soul. You see your face reflected every day. You rarely see what I see beneath it. Do not be afraid. I am not holding this mirror to condemn you. I am holding it to heal you. You say you love me, and I know you mean it. I have heard your prayers, your whispered promises, your moments of real surrender, but your heart drifts, my child. Like a leaf on moving water, it is pulled away by every fear, every demand, every fresh worry the day brings. You return to me and you drift again. I am not shaming you for this. I am naming it because what is named can be healed. Look first at the striving. You have been trying to fix yourself without me. You told yourself, if I work harder, think better, pray more, I will finally get it right. You have carried burdens that were never sized for human shoulders and called it responsibility. You wanted results without relationship, peace without presence, blessing without surrender. And every time you ran ahead of me, the road grew rough, not because I wanted you to fall, but because I wanted you to stop and look for me. Now look at the control. You have gripped your life tightly, believing that if you managed every outcome, you would finally be safe. But control was never safety, my child. It was fear wearing a confident face. You were never meant to steer the storm. You were meant to rest in the presence of the one who commands the wind and the waves. The tighter your grip, the more tired you became. You know this. You have felt it in your own hands. Look at the pride that whispers, "I can handle this alone." Look at the resentment that still lingers from wounds others caused you, the ones you say you have released but still carry. Look at the guilt you keep in a hidden place, the shame you have never spoken aloud to anyone. I see all of it. Every locked room, every buried thing. And hear me clearly. I am not repelled by any of it. I came for exactly this. I heal the brokenhearted. I set captives free. That is who I am. You have doubted my love because of your past. You assume that what you did or what was done to you placed you outside my reach. It did not. When you ran, my eyes followed you. When you hid, my light kept finding you. There has never been a day when I looked at you and turned away. Not one. Even at your worst, I called you mine. You tell yourself that you trust me, but trust is more than words. Trust is the moment you hand me what you cannot understand. It is releasing the question why and accepting my answer of when. You have been afraid that surrender means losing yourself. It does not. Surrender is where you finally find yourself because you were never meant to carry your own existence like luggage. You were meant to be carried. So lay it down now. The worry you manage every waking hour, the anger you keep pressed beneath politeness, the exhaustion you hide behind capability, the plans you clutch because letting go feels like falling. Bring them all to me. I will not turn you away. I have never once turned you away. My hands still bear the marks of how far I went to bring you back. Those marks are not reminders of pain. They are the proof of what you are worth to me. Stop trying to earn what I have already given freely. You have spent years working for a love that was yours before you did anything at all. My grace does not rest on your perfection. It rests on your willingness to receive it. So stop striving, my child, and start receiving. That single shift will do more in you than a decade of trying harder. Look once more into the mirror, and this time see what I see. Where you see failure, I see a person still standing after battles no one else witnessed. Where you see weakness, I see the very places my strength intends to dwell. Where you see a story too far gone, I see chapters not yet written, and I hold the pen. You are not your worst season. You are not the words spoken over you by people who could not see your worth. Let me do now what you could never do for yourself. Let me wash what guilt has stained. Let me soften what pain has hardened. Let me open the rooms fear has kept locked, one door at a time, gently at the pace your heart can bear. If tears come as I work, let them come. They are not weakness. They are the loosening of what has been held too tightly for too long. You were never meant to fix yourself. You were meant to be made whole in my presence. There is a difference, and today you are allowed to stop pretending otherwise. Come as you are, not cleaned up, not composed, as you are. That is the only way anyone has ever truly come to me. And do not rush away from this place, my child. Honesty like this is rare, and rare things deserve a moment to breathe. You have just seen yourself without the armor, and you are still standing. Still loved, still mine. That alone should tell you something. The truth about you was never as dangerous as the hiding was. From this day on, let honesty be the ground you build on, because everything I build in you will stand on it. This honest look is not the end of the mirror. It is the beginning of a new reflection. Keep standing here with me. And the day will come when you look at yourself and recognize at last someone deeply loved, fully known, and completely forgiven. That is the face I have seen all along. Now, let me answer the question you have carried the longest. Where was I when it hurt the most? You have asked it in anger and in exhaustion. You have asked it politely in prayer and bitterly in the dark. It deserves an answer, and I will give you one. I was there, not watching from a distance. There on the nights when your chest felt too heavy to breathe. I was in the room when you spoke into the darkness. God, if you are real, please do not leave me. I did not leave. I stayed until morning. I have stayed every night since. You felt alone because pain shouts louder than presence, not because presence was missing. There is a difference between feeling abandoned and being abandoned, and you have never once been the second. You believed your prayers went unanswered. Some of them were answered in ways you have not yet recognized. When you asked for a door and it stayed shut, that shut door was often my answer, because I could see what waited on the other side of it. When you asked for a person to stay and they left, I let them walk, because their place in your future was smaller than their place in your fear. You called these losses. Some of them were rescues. I did not enjoy your pain, my child. Hear that plainly, because religion has sometimes taught you otherwise. I did not design your suffering as a lesson, or send heartbreak as a package with a purpose hidden inside. This world is broken, and its brokenness reached you as it reaches everyone. What I did was refuse to waste any of it. There is nothing that has happened to you, nothing that I cannot turn toward your good. That is not the same as causing it. That is redeeming it. Think of a field left unplanted for a season. To the passing eye, it looks abandoned, useless, forgotten. But underneath, the soil is recovering its strength. Some of your empty seasons were exactly that. Not punishment, not abandonment. Ground being restored below the surface where no one could see. Least of all you. You judged those seasons by what they grew. I measured them by what they healed. And think of a river. It does not reach the sea in a straight line. It bends around stone, doubles back, slows in some places, and rushes in others. And every turn that looks like a detour is the water finding its true course. Your path is bent in ways you never chose. It has slowed where you wanted speed and rushed where you wanted stillness. But it has been moving, all of it, towards something. You are further along than you believe. My silence troubled you most of all. You took it as absence, or worse, as indifference. But there are silences, and there are silences, my child. There is the silence of an empty house, and there is the silence of someone sitting beside a sleeping loved one, present, watchful, saying nothing because nothing needs to be said yet. My silence was the second kind. I was never gone. I was near, and I was not finished. When the betrayal came, when someone you trusted turned, I remained trustworthy. When fear wrapped around you at night, and you could not name what you were even afraid of, I stayed until it loosened. When grief hollowed you out, I did not hurry you through it or hand you tidy explanations. I sat with you in it. Love does that. Love does not always fix quickly. Sometimes love simply refuses to leave. Look at your scars, the seen ones and the unseen ones. You have seen them as marks of damage. Look at them again. Every scar is a place where healing already happened. A scar is not an open wound. It is the mark of a wound that closed. You survived what you once believed would end you, and you did not survive it alone. My hand was under you in every fall that did not finish you. You have also wondered why some of my help arrived so late. By your measure, I do not measure time the way you do. You count days. I weigh readiness, timing, and 100 moving pieces you will never see from where you stand. Some things I withheld because your hands were not yet free to hold them. Some things I delayed because they would have cost you more arriving early than they ever cost you arriving late. Not one delay was neglect. Not one. There were dangers that never reached you, and you will never know their names. Roads you did not take that would have broken something in you. Choices that fell through at the last moment and felt like failure, but were my hand quietly closing a way that led somewhere you could not afford to go. You have thanked me for the blessings you can see. One day you will thank me for the disasters you never met. So take the question you have carried, where were you? And let it be answered at last. I was in the room where the hardest news found you. I was in the silent kitchen long after midnight. I was on the long road home when you broke down where no one could see you. I was there, and I am here. And the same presence that carried you through what has ended will carry you through what is not yet begun. You do not have to understand every chapter to trust the author. You only have to know that I have never once let go of you, and I never will. What you walked through did not disqualify you. It did not push you outside my plan. You are still mine, still called, still carried. And the road ahead of you is not a repeat of the road behind. Let the old accusation fall silent now. The one that said you were forgotten. You were never forgotten. You were held through every hour you thought you were holding yourself. Breathe that in. Let it reach the oldest ache you have. It has waited a long time for the truth. And now, my child, we arrive at the reason for all of it. The interruption, the mirror, the long answer to your oldest question. All of it has been leading here to a single open door and a single choice. I did not stop you today only to comfort you. I stopped you to call you through. There is a door standing open in front of you right now. Not a door you can touch with your hands, but one more real than anything your hands have ever held. It is the door back to me. Fully back. Not the halfway distance you have been living at. Close enough to remember me. Far enough to keep control. I am asking for the whole return. Every room of your heart. Every locked door inside it. All of you. For all of me. I will not pretend this door stands open forever in the same way. I told you that seasons turn and windows close. And I told you the truth. Not because my love expires. My love has no end. But moments like this one are rare. And hearts do not stay soft by accident. You are soft now. You are listening now. This is the hour to move. While moving is still simple. One honest yes. That is the entire distance between you and everything I'm about to describe. Hear what waits on the other side of your yes. The heaviness that has sat on your chest like a stone through season after season will begin to lift. Not all at once, but truly. The confusion that has circled your mind will start to clear the way. Fog clears when the sun climbs slowly, then suddenly. The fears that have ruled your nights will lose their voices one by one. These are not poetic promises, my child. This is what I do. I am the God of turned tides and reopened roads. What was broken in you will be mended. What was taken from you will be answered with more than was lost. What has been delayed will move again, and some of it will move quickly because it was never stuck. It was waiting. I will go ahead of you into days you have been afraid to imagine. I will level what stands against you. I will silence what accused you. I have done this for generation after generation, and I have not changed. But I will not force your yes. Love cannot be commanded into a heart only welcomed. So the enemy of your soul is telling you even now in this final hour of this word that you can decide later. He has watched this whole encounter and he is reaching for the only weapon he has left. Delay. Recognize his whisper by its sweetness. Tomorrow, soon. When things settle. He has sung that song over you for years and it has cost you years. Not this time. This time you see the trick before it lands. There is no promise of tomorrow anywhere in your possession, my child. All you have ever owned is now, and now is exactly enough. Because I am not asking you for a lifetime of perfection today. I am asking for this moment of surrender today. Lifetimes are built out of moments like this one. Single, honest, unrepeatable. So come home, not to a building, not to a set of rules, to me. Come home to the presence that made you. The voice that has followed you through every wilderness. The love that never once agreed to let you go. You have wandered long enough. You have fought battles that were never assigned to you and carried loads I never placed on your back. Set them down at the threshold. They do not come through this door. They were never going to. And when you step through, walk differently. Guard the stillness we found together today. Return to it daily, even briefly, because that is where you will hear me clearest. When the noise rises again, and it will rise, let it find you rooted. When the old numbness reaches for you and it will reach, remember what it cost you and refuse it. You are not the same as you were an hour ago. Live like it. Bring others with you in prayer. The ones you love, the ones you carry, even when they do not know it. Speak peace over them. Some of what I am beginning in you today will reach them through you. In words you say, in patience you show, in the changed way you walk into a room. A healed life is never healed for itself alone. Light spills, let yours. There will be mornings when you doubt this moment. The feeling will fade because feelings always fade, and you will wonder whether any of it was real. When that morning comes, remember this. Truth does not evaporate with emotion. What I spoke today was not a feeling, it was a word. And my words do not return empty. They accomplish what I send them to do. This one was sent to bring you home. And it has found you. I am not asking you to become someone else. I am asking you to become who you already are, beneath the fear, beneath the striving, beneath the years of holding your breath. That person has been waiting inside you like seed under winter ground, alive the whole time, ready for one season of warmth. This is the warmth. This is the season. Rise into it. So now I pause. Heaven leans close. Everything I have spoken stands complete before you. Every promise in place, every door unlocked. What remains is yours alone to give. And it is the smallest and largest thing I will ever ask of you. Your yes, not tomorrow's yes, today's. Give it to me now plainly in your own words, in your own voice. I am listening the way I have listened to you all your life, fully closely with everything I am. And the moment you speak, I will answer. Not with thunder, but with peace. You will feel it settle over you like evening light. Then we will walk forward from this hour together, you and I, into the future I have kept for you. You stopped when I called. You stayed until the end. You heard what most never slowed down to hear. Now finish what this moment started, and do not look back at the life you are leaving. Because nothing back there compares to what is ahead. I love you, my child. I have said it in 1,000 quiet ways, and today I have said it plainly. Take it with you, build on it, rest in it. It will hold. Let that be your first step through the open door.